Welcome to another episode of Relatively Famous, the podcast where I, Chip White, talk to relatives of famous people. My famous relative is Vanna White of Wheel of Fortune, 42-year TV icon. And today, I'm actually going to talk to the sister of one of my sister's favorite people and who she models her career after. I'm going to talk to Freida Parton, Dolly Parton's sister, and I'm super excited about it. And speaking of family and sisters, if you're looking for the perfect family vacation, go to visitmyrtlebeach.com. That's visitmyrtlebeach.com. The whole Grand Strand area is 60 miles of beautiful beach. It's family friendly. There's 2,000 restaurants, golf courses. They are also very autistic and sensory sensitive children accommodations. You can learn more about that on visitmyrtlebeach.com or by watching the Peacock show, Traveling the Spectrum. So today, let's welcome Freida Parton.
Relatively Famous podcast with Chip White.
Freida, welcome to Relatively Famous. I'm super excited to have you on today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with you, Chip.
So we got to chat a little bit on the phone, and you were, some great stories. I was like, oh, hold those for the interview, hold those for the podcast. Now, everybody knows your sister, again, world-renowned name. My sister adores her and tries to model her life after Dolly's. I want to hear your version of growing up in the Parton home, because everybody's heard stories. I mean, there's 11, 12 children. Kind of tell me about what your life was like in that household.
Well, I hung on everything my mama said. We went to church on Sundays. Sometimes we would have revivals, and they would go for a few days. And my grandpa, Reverend Jake Owens, was the preacher, and my family built the church as well. And it's called the House of Prayer. It's still there, but we moved on, and Grandpa's in heaven singing with the Parton Choir and the Owenses.
Now, you're a twin.
Yes.
What was, I've had Ranny and Danny Vincent, who are twins. Danny's an actor. I've had Ranny on. What was it like for you as a twin?
It was fantastic. I loved him. He was so good. He was too good for this world. And I asked him, I said, quit letting people, the guys beat up on you. I said, hit them back. And he said, Rita, I can't hurt them. I just can't. I said, well, I can. I said, so I'll take care of you. You just tell me when you need me.
So you were kind of like his bodyguard.
I was definitely willing to take up for him or any of my brothers and sisters still to this day.
Now,
And we all were like that too.
Were you the scrapper in the family? Were you, like, should we be doing a movie
yes,
about you?
Yes, I was. Yeah, I had to be because I have a baby sister, Rachel, as well. And she wasn't much of a fighter neither. So I was more than willing to take care of them because I felt it was my job. And my mama told me, she said, you take care of your brother and sister. And you be tough if you have to be. And then you go to church and ask forgiveness Sunday.
I like that. What was, I know that this very musical family, what kind of drove that? And I know you did a rock and roll album. Let's kind of talk about the different styles of the different siblings of the Parton family.
Well, most of them are country. And I named my first album and only album till recently. We worked on one that's about ready to be released. But the album was called Two-Faced. And people never asked me in interviews or anything what that meant. That means that I do rock, I write it, and then I do country because I lived it, And then I do, well, if you're doing country and you're doing it good, it's called folk. So I just do everything. I write a lot. Dolly called me a few weeks ago and she said, Fred, did you know you've got one of the biggest catalogs that I've ever known of? I said, I didn't write more than you. She said, oh, yes, you did. I said, oh, I'm impressed. I didn't mean to. She said, how'd you do that? I said, I challenge myself every day. And she said, how? I said, well, in the mornings, first thing I do, I make a cup of coffee. By the time I get done with that one cup of coffee, I've written 2 songs. And then I make another cup of coffee. And then I write 2 more songs. I got 4 songs for the day, and then I start working. Go to the studio and put them down or whatever I need to do. And I've
that
always
is
done that.
impressive. Yeah, that's
I don't know
impressive.
if it's impressive or it is, I have to get everything out of me on paper and on, a tape recorder. That's how come I do it. And I feel that my mom always said, if you have an idea, you better write it down right then. She said, because it goes into the universe. And if you don't reach up and grab an idea, it'll be somebody else's.
That is true. I can't tell you how many times I've had an idea or something and didn't write it down or didn't make a note.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I got from, the stoplight to home, I forgot what it was.
Ooh,
And
not
now
me.
I love
I
the
won't. I
writing.
have, with our little phones now, you got a recorder on it.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
true.
great. I think that's the greatest thing ever is to record what you're thinking, saying, or an ideal. And I start every day uh, praying and I ask God to take care of my family, me, take care of our country, take care of the world, because we're all brothers and sisters in the sight of God, no matter where you live.
That is
And
true.
not to judge people, because it's not our job to judge anyone. It's our Maker's job, not us.
Now, kind of run us through your career. I know that from what I've read, you wrote some country. You wrote a song for Dolly's on the 9 to 5 album. Then you went into rock and roll, and you continue to write. Kind of run us through your music career.
Well, I got to Woodstock. I got in the limo, and I was going there to work with Janis Joplin's manager, Albert Grossman. And he was a brilliant man, but he knew how to drive me crazy. He would say things about, my faith and my religion, and he would say, "There's no such thing as Jesus Christ." He said, "I can name 5 Jesus Christ in history." I said, "You can name as many as you want to, but there's only one that I serve." And so I walked in. The first time I ever met him, I walked into his office, and there was 2 chairs, 2 little chairs facing each other, very close. And he was up pretty high, and so I sit down, and my butt was on the floor. And I thought, oh no, I'm not looking up to him. So I got up, and I went around the chair, and I got in front of his desk, and I leaned up on the desk. He said, "Why are you doing that?" I said, "Because I can tell when somebody's about to play one on me." I said, "And I don't feel like a shakedown." I said, "So I don't look up to you. I only look up to Jesus Christ." I said, "So I'm going to sit here." He said, "Nobody's ever caught that." I said, "Well, my mom was smart. She said she wasn't going to have no stupid kids. She said she's going to make us all smart, and every one of us are. And we're all talented, and we all do our own thing, and we get together like the shows that we do on TV with Dolly and stuff like that. We just have a good time. I mean, if you can't have a good time in this world, then go home and cover your head and get in the bed. You know,
Yeah. Now,
it's our job. It's our job to look good and to be happy. And if there's someone that's not, they can check on us, they can look at us, and then it makes them feel better. I'm writing a book, and someone said, are you going to write any dirt? I said, no, I'm not. I said, people rely on Dolly. They rely on us and our stories. I said, it teaches them to be better with their kids. It teaches them to do what Mama did and how she raised us and how Daddy raised us. Strong, honest, and hard worker. That's what we are. And we have faith.
Yeah.
People say, boy, I hope I'm lucky as you are. I said, there's no such word as luck. That means you are opening yourself up to fail or to win. I said, you have faith. You have faith that you're going to get that job. You have faith that you're going to make so much money a year. You have faith in everything you do. I said, I do not have luck. I have faith. And I pray about it, and that's what I think of, positive things.
Well, it definitely works for you. Now,
Yeah.
your sister and my sister too definitely cast big shadows. And I've always been conscious of her reputation. Doesn't mean that I've always done the right thing. I mean, I've talked about it 100 times before. I'm 22, almost 23 years clean and sober. I had a rough run there. But she was always supportive. Have you tried to be, or have you always been conscious of the fact, like, the Parton name, Dolly, there's this thing, and how you kind of conduct your music career? Or was there a point like, what, this is me and I'm going to go in this direction? And what has there been that challenge for you that there has been for probably most people?
First thing I did, I got in the limo. That's what I was going to tell you. I got in the limo, and this guy that was driving, I turned around and gave me a paper bag. And I said, what's this? He said, it's any kind of drug that you want. He said, this one's free. I didn't know that I was getting trapped. So I said, okay, thank you a lot. And he said, if you like anything, I'll tell you. And he mentioned the guy's name, where he lived up on a hill. And he said, you can go up there and you can get what you want and just pay. And I said, oh, thank you. And so I went home. And of course, I had to try the powder, the coke. And then I had to try some pills. And then I had to smoke some pot. And I said, boy, where'd this pot come from? And they said, a place called Wilhite. I said, that's next door to us in Sevierville's, Wilhite. It was amazing. Yeah. But I got addicted. Just like that. I was addicted. I don't know how I survived Woodstock, except Mama's prayers and the family. And then I got back home, and I was addicted. And Dolly came by the house, and I was using needles and stuff like that. And she said, Freda, you're not killing you. You're killing me. And it hit me like a brick. I thought I was only hurting myself. I didn't realize that I was hurting my family and those people that loved me. So the next morning, I fixed the needles and stuff, and I put all my drugs in the bag and everything. You know how you dumbass do that. And excuse me, I didn't mean to say that. But anyway, I called my sister Willdine, and I said, I need to get off drugs, and I need to get my life together, and I need to do what God wants me to do in my life, and that's to be successful and happy. And she said, all right, I'll make the deal. I'll call Nashville. We'll get everything ready, and you're going to go into rehab. So I've been clean for 30 years.
Congratulations.
No drugs, no pot.
Isn't it phenomenal? No. I mean, it's amazing to wake up and not have that hanging over your head.
A crutch. Oh, my goodness, it was awful. And I didn't know it was awful till I got clean and realized, hey, I'm free.
Yeah.
I don't, nothing controls me. Nothing. No drug, no people, nothing. I control myself and my destiny and what uh, God sees in my life. And I'm so happy. I'm done with my part. But Richie Owens works for Opar, and that's one of Dolly's companies, and they have put a 10 song CD out, and it's about to be released. And it's some of my greatest, most wonderful stories and of my family. I write songs that I have lived, you know, and I thought, well, why don't I do this? And after I got done with everything, Richie said, "This is called Americana." I said, "Well, I don't know what it's called." I said, "But I would like people to hear it." And he said, "They will hear it." He said, "We're not going to put a lot of money behind it because you did so well with your Facebook that you can do it yourself." I said, "Of course I can. I can sell myself better than anybody can because I know what I can do, and I know that I'm getting ready to tour here in the United States and start that in about 6 months. And I just want to stay here at home. I don't want to go anywhere else yet. Right here in America."
Well, it's a huge country. There's tons of people that will be fans and sure love to go hear it. And have you, like, if, God, like Dolly said, your catalog is huge. Do you pitch it to other artists to record maybe your songs, or you just kind of write and they kind of sitting there till you figure out the next step? Or what's your goal
No,
with that
I have
catalog?
pitched some, and everyone that I pitched got cut. I went to Dolly called me when she was doing the 9 to 5 album, and she said, "I'll send you to Hawaii, and you can write a song there for my album." I said, "Well, I'd love to go to Hawaii. I've never done anything like that." She said, "I got a place over there, and you can stay there." So my husband, Mark Anderson at the time, and my little girl, Jane Starr. And I walked in, and there was this fantastic, most beautiful baby grand. We weren't allowed to play the piano in church or anything. That was Grandpa's. He didn't want it out of tune or any of that. So I sit down, and I thought, okay, Lord, she sent me here. I'm going to figure this piano out, and I'm going to write a song on it. So I sit there and I did my keys, and all of a sudden I was like, boom, 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 boom. And it goes, um, "You may not know me now, but I have been around. You'll never see my name on any pages. I'm just the common man, the fool who understands the pain you go through when life takes you under. Sing for the common man." And Dolly loved it. She thought it was fantastic. And it was on the B side of the 9 to 5 single. So that was really neat too. So
Yeah.
that was a big hit. And it's played all the time. People pull it off and do videos on it and all kinds of stuff. It's really exciting. Yeah.
Now,
So
did you like the rock when you were doing rock and roll? Was that something you really
love rock
liked,
and
or
roll. I love rock and roll. I got albums sitting there waiting. I've got everything. I've wrote everything. I mean, God just gives me the talent to do so. We would sit around in a circle around Mother, and she'd be in a straight back chair with her guitar, and she'd sing us a song. And she said, "Do you like the story?" "Oh, yeah, we love them old mountain stories. They look fantastic." She said, "Okay." She said, "Each of you go your own way, wherever you want to go on the farm, and stay that way. and you come back and need to have wrote a story or a song or something, and we'll all judge it and see what we think of it. So we would go, each of us, and we would go and write a song or a book or whatever, the ideal of a book, the outlines of it. And we'd go back, and she'd say, "Oh, yours are so impressive." But I'll tell you what she told me about Dolly. She said Dolly did not want to do housework. She said she didn't think I knew any better, but I did. She said she would, when it was time to clean house and all that good stuff, she'd say, "Mama, I think I got a song I need to write." And she'd say, "Well, honey, go on up there on that ridge so I can see you. And you write a song and you come back and play it for me." She said she didn't know that I knew that she was getting out of the housework. But boy, what a writer she became. Out of desperation. I don't want to wash dishes. I don't want to do this and that, but I will write a song,
That's
and that's
funny.
good.
That is good. Now, my sister's done well. Of course, Dolly's done extremely. And people always think, oh, well, your life must be full of riches and stuff because of your family. It's not always true. I don't know about
No,
yours.
no.
But I have had some amazing experiences, and sometimes I even forget. What's been kind of the most memorable or amazing experience that happened? It's happened because you're Dolly's sister, either with Dolly or without. Has there been something like you've met someone or you've got to go somewhere? Has there been something that really stands out? The fact, like, well, because it happened because of your sister.
Well, Dolly sent word and told Wilton to get rid of all of us in the house, go to her house and have a picnic or whatever. And she said, "Stay gone all day." And then said, "What are you doing, Dolly?" She said, "You'll see, just like every one of us will." So she had a crew come in, and they fixed the house beautifully. They put new furniture. We'd never had new furniture in our lives. And it was just absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And Mom and Daddy walked in, and Daddy saw his lazy boy chair, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, that's going to feel good with my old back." And so we really loved it, and it meant so much that she did that for Mom. And then later on, I'll tell you this too. Mama got really sick, and she called Dolly, and she said, "Dolly, I need you and Carla to take care of the kids." Me and Floyd was 13, and Rachel is 3 years younger. And she said, "I need you to take care of them. I'm not able. I'm tired, and I'm just not able." So Dolly come wheeling up the driveway. It wasn't paved. It was dirt. And I'm telling you what, dirt flew everywhere. Dolly's not known for a good driver. And so we got the car, and we started off to Nashville. And she was writing all the time. But the thing is, when she drives, she uses her gas pedal to keep the rhythm. And it was like, "Okay, okay, we'll get there." Well, she stayed. Me and Floyd and Rachel were looking at each other, and Dolly said, "I can't help it. I'm writing a song." So that's how she did.
That's pretty
But
funny.
she turned out to be a real good driver.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
uh, we had Roger Miller's son Dean Miller on recently, and he was
Right.
talking about when Dolly hired his dad Roger to be a writer on her TV show, which I actually got to
Mhm.
go see in the audience one day, and I think we met Dolly. I can't even remember. Again, it's those things you forget. Um, and he was just talking about how his dad appreciated Dolly. Didn't so much appreciate the writing team, but really appreciated Dolly doing that. Um,
Yeah.
so we're running out of time. Is
Uh-oh.
there a question I didn't ask you or something that you really want people to know about Freda that we didn't talk about?
I have a lot of songs that I'm doing. I have a lot of stuff in what they call the can, you know what that is, and ready to be released and stuff. I did not have a career, so to speak. So I am coming back, and I'm going to do a lot of stuff that I think is going to reach people, touch people, give them hope, and things like that. So I'm excited about the future for me. I believe it or not, I have no face work or anything like that. So I'm 68 years old, and I feel better than I ever have because I got my life together and I know where I'm going. I know what I want to do. I don't care about being successful. I don't care about making money or anything like that. But I do want to reach people, and I want to do um, what God leads me to do, and that's to help people and be there to say something positive, or just to be there and talk about the family or our faith or whatever. I just want to be there to touch people.
Well, we will do everything we can to help your word get out more through our podcast. We'll put any links down in our notes that you have if you on your Facebook or our website, anything like that. Just let me know. But I am thankful that you. What? No, I don't, man. My wife is a musician in the
family. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, I took some bass lessons years ago, but it's been setting for 40 years. It's been setting, not 40, but for 20 years, it's been sitting on the stand. And my wife tells you there's only one singer in the family, and it's definitely not me. But our producer, he volunteers. He is a singer-songwriter. My wife's a singer-songwriter, but Philip is a guitar-playing singer-songwriter who says he volunteers.
Right.
But we thank you for your time today. And Freda, it's been a joy and a pleasure. And again, thank you for your time.
I wanted to say this real quick. Guess where I'm sitting? Guess where I'm at?
I'm going to say
I'm in Greenmore. It's my favorite place in Sevier County to be. It's Dolly's Dreammore. It's wonderful rooms. It's wonderful. Best breakfast in the world. Lunch. Great people. I've never had one bad experience at all here.
Tell me where you are again.
This place.
Tell me where it is again.
Please come to Dreammore.
Say it one more time.
Please come to Dreammore.
Okay.
Reports.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and maybe we'll run into you up there one day.
Hey, we're going to get together. I see a future.
Awesome. Thank you, Freda.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Freda. That was amazing. I love chatting with you. Again, your sister is like my sister, just lovely, down to earth, and loved around the world. I thank you for your time. I want to thank you, the audience, especially for tuning in to us. We wouldn't have a podcast without you. I want to thank our sponsor, visitmyrtlebeach.com. That's visitmyrtlebeach.com. If you want to go check out my hometown and my hometown area, visitmyrtlebeach.com can help you plan the great vacation. There's 60 miles of beach, family friendly, surfing, restaurants, golf. I mean, so much fun. You know what's funny? Dolly even has a place there. Pirates Voyage, and it's a fun thing to do. We've taken our kid there when he was younger. So you can always go see Dolly's place in Myrtle Beach. And I want to thank Nelco Media and our comic book shop, Nelco Comics, here in San Antonio. If you happen to be famous or know someone famous or a relative of someone famous, I'm always looking for guests. You can reach me at podcastrelativelyfamous@gmail.com. That's podcastrelativelyfamous@gmail.com. Thank you.
You've been listening to Relatively Famous with Chip White. Please like and subscribe to Relatively Famous with Chip White.